The Binding of Isaac. A complicated game with many ins and outs. Instead of looking in the wiki, I got you. Here's my how-to series, my take at long-form Isaac content. Please keep in mind, this video took a while to record and edit, so please consider liking and subscribing. It would mean the world to me. Enough talk. Let's get into it. Welcome to Basement, home to many things that want you dead. In this video, I will be going over ways to avoid dying and will be ranking difficulty along the way. The most docile of any enemy on this floor is the Fly. It physically cannot hurt you and it dies in a single tier. This is the first of many difficulty 1 enemies. This cute little fella is our second difficulty 1 enemy, a Dip. He mindlessly jolts around without a clue in the world. He dies in just 2 tiers. This is called a Pacer. Pacers do not have any brain, duh, therefore they just walk around, bumping into walls in the process. This is our third difficulty 1 enemy, and he only dies in 3 tiers. This unaware larva-looking thing is our last difficulty 1 enemy, an Embryo, a mindless little guy who jumps around with no motive until killed in 3 tiers. Starting off our level 2 difficulty with this guy, a Fatty. No offense, of course. The only reason I put Fatty on difficulty 2 is that they typically spawn in large quantities. You can dispose of them with only 5 tiers. This thing, or as I like to call it, a bastard, is a spider. A controversial pick for difficulty 2, I know, but when you have 3 of these plus a larger enemy on you, they are very annoying to handle. 2 tiers is all you need. This frankly annoying little guy is a mulligan. They run for the hills when they see you, and there is no real threat until BOOM! 5 flies pop out of him, pause, and it fires 4 tiers in all directions. When in numbers, they can be a pest to remove, taking anywhere between 4 to about 20 tiers to get rid of. This is a Pooter. They will shoot 1 tier at you every 1 second, very easily dodgeable, and they die in only 3 tiers. A Full Fly is an easily dodgeable enemy that you can dispose of in 3 tiers. Do keep in mind though, they do explode on death, sending tiers in all directions. The only real threat of this enemy is the fact that they do normally spawn in packs, so do be careful. A Mooter is just 2 flies combined into 1. They are very easily disposable and do come in packs, but they do not pose as much of a threat. A Roundworm is an enemy that teleports across the room multiple times and shoots at you 1 tier before teleporting again. Stand behind a rock or any sort of object and they will not shoot at you. This is a Gusher, the Pacer's bigger brother. He basically just shoots out a single tier every second in a random direction and is very easily disposable. Skinny is a slow-walking enemy that is taken out with 3 tiers. The only, and I mean only, reason this enemy is difficulty 3, because a skeleton can spawn after killing him. And you know how I feel about skeletons. The Ring Fly spawns in large groups that spin circles towards you. Not too difficult to dodge unless there are other enemies in the room, and naturally there are going to be. Each fly takes 2 tiers to kill. This stationary enemy is called a Horf. Horfs will spit a tier at you every 1 second, and they are very easily dodgeable, as you can see. You can dispose of them quite easily since they are stationary. All you gotta do is learn how to strafe them, and that's it, and you're fine. The Gaper, pause, is a very simple-minded enemy. Walk at the player. Just kill the thing. The level 2 fly is one of the most aggressive types of flies and will just constantly fly at you at a decently high speed until they are killed. This is a Squirt. He'll dash at you every like 2 seconds. You just have to step out of his way when he starts to make the face. That's all you gotta do. It's really simple. He does break into 2 dips, but it's quite manageable. A Frowning Gaper is just a Gaper on methamphetamine. He will sprint at the player when the player walks into his eyesight. It's not hard to kill solo, but when there's 5? Good luck. The Psychic Horf is just the bigger brother of the regular Horf, who shoots homing tears at you and is quite annoying to handle. A Super Pooter is once again just a bigger brother of its regular Pooter. It shoots 2 tiers on either side of you. As you can see, you can just stand still, and it's not very hard to dispose of, but you typically are not standing still in any of these rooms, so there is still a viable threat. This is Claudie. He basically just shoots tiers in every direction that Isaac can shoot him from, but the way to kill him is to just bob in and out like that to kill him. This here is Clot. He shoots diagonal tiers and is very easily avoidable, but when there's many in a room, it is quite annoying to dodge all the tiers. A small honorable mention is a wall hugger. Basically, they just float along any wall that they can, and if the wall is destroyed, they will go into a new wall. You've made it far, I must admit. Welcome to the boss section of this video. I will go over strategies to counter every boss and some ways to cheese them. One of the first bosses you might encounter, and one of the easiest in my opinion, is Larry Jr. He has no ranged attacks or any real threat other than him running into you, which is obvious. A singular bomb can end the boss fight. Since there's typically rocks around the room, you can lead them into a 1-block gap and then put a single bomb in front of them and kill them entirely. The next boss on this list is the Duke of Flies. I'd say the easiest boss of all of them. You just have to simply watch where he will next move and place a bomb in his way. He bounces off the walls like a pinball, so you can easily predict where he's going to move next. I would suggest skipping killing the little flies entirely, since there is no point, because you will have to kill them at the end of the boss fight anyways. Gemini, being another easy boss to counter, is most likely a boss you will run into sooner or later. I would suggest waiting until he gets out of breath and placing a bomb at his feet. Once you've done that, he will continue to sprint at you until killed. Once you kill Gemini, his little friend will start to run after you, angry. 1 bomb should handle him. If not, just kill him with tears. I would suggest, if you can, taking out the little guy first, because he is much more of a hassle than the big guy. Dingle is one of the most difficult bosses in Basement. As usual, a few bombs could handle him. Some notable things. Whenever he whistles, he's about to spit 3 tiers and spawn a dip, so I would suggest right after he whistles, swing downwards or swing upwards, avoiding damage entirely. If Dingle closes his mouth, he will also just spit 3 tiers at you. I would suggest using the same strategy as before. Now when he makes this face, he's about to charge at you. I would suggest you stand still until he actually starts to move, and then just sidestep him, and stand still again. Do this 3 times. Gurglings are these 2 little guys who will charge at you whenever you stand in front of them. They are just like Larry Jr. because you can end the boss fight with only 1 to 2 bombs. This boss fight is one of the easiest. One suggestion I can make is to walk into their line of sight and then just walk in the opposite direction. Monstro is probably the hardest non-DLC boss you'll fight in Basement. He has many moves that are easily avoidable, and I'll teach you how. The first move is when he jumps into the air. All you have to do is just walk away from your current position after he jumps, and he will land there. His second move is his shotgun attack, where he retches and then spits a large amount of tears at you at the same time. For this move, all you have to do is move down or up, just like Dingle. His last and final moves are his little hops that he does. They're very easily avoidable, and you can just walk right under him, because technically he's above you. That's going to be the end of the Basement edition of How To. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and hope to see you in future videos. Please consider joining the Discord to get notifications for whenever I upload or stream. Love you guys. Bye-bye.